And ladies and gentlemen, we are back. It's another Monday. I guess we got to play the Monday clip, eh? I mean, since Monday is such a great day around this place, we don't fear a Monday. Do you fear a Monday, folks? Are you at work right now watching the show, fearing the Monday? I don't think so. That's not how we play the game.
Well, it's Monday. We're back again.
It's Monday, boys and girls, let's party! It's Monday, boys and girls, let's party!
Indeed, it is Monday, boys and girls. We've got Erica, we've got Ron, we've got Pro, and we're ready to go with the latest news around Disney World. Erica, how are you today?
Doing good. Having some breakfast for once.
Hey, and Erica, every time you're on the show, your backdrop is more impressive than the last time. We've got Bucky Beaver, we've got the coffee sign lit up in the background. That's just getting better and better, Erica. Oh, and you've already got your autumn pumpkin painting up.
It's getting there, little bit,
Yeah.
little by little. Mm-hmm.
I love it, I love it, I love it. Although I don't love saying goodbye to summer. I'm not up for that, okay? So let's keep summer as long as we can. You want fall already?
Yeah, dude, it got up to 112 over here.
Tisk, tisk.
Yes.
Ron, how are you doing today?
We are doing okay over here. But I will tell you, Erica may be very disappointed by this news, but I will never, ever buy another piece of cake from the cake bake shop.
Uh-oh. Ron, tell us what happened.
Was it
Wild
terrible?
Man of Yavin was awesome enough to come in and super chat me to, and I won't say the amount, but it was good enough amount that I was able to go get a piece of cake from the cake bake shop. So I got the millionaire cake or whatever the heck that thing is called, got it home. We tried it last night and it's more icing than cake, but it's not even really, it's more like, it's like fondant. It's like if you ate a bunch of fondant and then had a little spoonful of cake with it, and the cake was a little bit dry. It was like my wife goes, "There's better cake at Walmart and Target." Okay, so I'm just saying, at least our experience with the cake bake shop, it's going to be a long time before I ever try that again.
You're not going to go all whoopee on them, are you? You're not going to go out and slander the poor bakery person who was there. And no. Okay.
It's it's whatever. Maybe it was an off day for the cake. I don't know, but it's one of those things where, yeah, sure, I'd try it again 6 months from now, a year from now, something like that. But it's certainly not anything that I'm clamoring to go get again anytime soon, for sure.
Might just be that recipe. I always judge based off of vanilla and buttercream icing. If you can master that, then you should be a master at just about anything else.
See, and I don't love vanilla cake. My wife loves vanilla cake. She didn't like the chocolate, but I'm not a vanilla. She loves vanilla. I'm not a vanilla person.
I'm a vanilla person.
Well, I tell you, folks, you let us know in the chat. What's your favorite kind of dessert? Pie, tarts, cakes? What's the difference, eh? Let us know and we'll hear what you say. But first, the superstars of the show on the screen right now. Juliet for 2, Evening, That Park Place, and chat. Good evening to you, Juliet. And we've got Kaylee on for 5. Pro, on the go. You need to hurry and break into the warehouse from Who Framed Roger Rabbit before they raid it. Judge Doom approaches with his dip. Ron, can we get the line? Not the dip. Can we get that line?
Not the dip. Oh no! I can't do the please this morning.
Come on, give us a.
I can't get it. I can't get it. Man, I need a sip.
Here we go, folks. This will be the click it and sip it. You sip with Ron. Click the like button and see if you can do what Ron's going to do.
There we go.
There you go. All right. Love it, love it, love it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got stories to cover today, including what Spider-Man is up to and the fact that the theme parks basically can't do a thing with Spider-Man. So it's the biggest brand on the planet because of contracts. Nobody can do anything in the theme parks with Spider-Man. What a crazy thing. We'll talk about it. We got more on the way, though, before we go to Spidey. Our senses are tingling, and, ears may have been ringing when people were brawling over at Animal Kingdom. Why don't we talk about that first? Things just keep getting more and more weird, as Rachel Zegler likes to say over at Walt Disney World. Eric Morton writing this one for WDW News Today, Fight of Passage. Now you might say, Pro, why are you going to WDW News Today and not going to that Park Place or some of these other webs? Folks, sometimes you just got to give it to the author. Sometimes you just got to say, you win, sir. And when he writes, instead of Flight of Passage, he writes Fight of Passage. I just have to say, Eric, you've won the internet. Guest brawl in queue at Disney's Animal Kingdom. All right, well, what's this about? Two groups. This is what's great about it. It's two groups, and yes, there's video on the way. Hang tight. Two groups of guests decided to rise to the challenge in the queue for Avatar Flight of Passage, according to a Reddit user who posted a video of the incident. According to the user, United Excitement 329, an argument had been going on between the two parties for much of the 80-minute wait for the ride. By the time they neared the loading area, seriously, folks, if you're going to do a giant battle royale, wait until you after the ride. Don't blow it right before you line up to get on the on little bikes. The argument turned physical. Both men and women can be seen throwing punches and pushing one another around in the video. All right, folks, here we go. We'll just play the whole darn thing. We ready for this, everybody? You ready for this? Dump, bump, 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 bump. You know, this is a really bad camera angle. It's hard to see anything here. Non-security cast member getting involved. No Disney cast members coming in here. We're just going to let it play through, folks.
Pro, I don't think the chat is seeing the video play.
What? Well, that makes this an awkward situation. Huh. Okay, well, hang on. Let's see if we can fix this. So,
on my X, that's for sure.
Okay, folks, start over. How's that? We'll start this over. I know how to fix this. Prepare yourselves. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. We got 100 of you out there watching saying, what is going on? We fixed it. Here we go. As we said before, an unfortunate camera angle. You can't see anything from here, but don't worry, it's going to change. No Disney security to be found anywhere. You got a rather sturdy woman throwing sturdy punches. Looks like guests are trying to stop this. Nobody from Disney to be found. Okay, so there's your fight at Flight of Passage, right? Here's the deal. Ron, you've been a cast member. You know about the security stuff. You know what's going down, what's happening, et cetera, et cetera. We've seen this time and time again. Big fight breaks out, this time between groups of people. It's a mob, essentially. And there's no security. Nobody's coming to save you at Disney. And that 20 years ago, that would have been unheard of. I mean, that just, Disney was the safest place on earth. Today, if a group decides they're going to attack you, you're on your own.
Yeah, I don't know what the cast members, like the ride operating cast members, I don't know what they're trained to do. Like my training said, immediately call security in if you have a radio, if you have phone. Like we had a phone. As a matter of fact, there on the back of your blue ID, there is a security number to call. Like, so you can whip out, if you have your blue ID on you, which every cast member should while they're working, just whip it out, turn it around. And there's a number to call. right on there. So like a local number. So they should know what to do. That should still be on there. And I don't know.
The problem is the response time.
Yeah.
The response time is ridiculous. We saw this when there was the brawl in Toontown, Disneyland. We've seen this before, Main Street USA.
There's another thing about this. I would think, and we know this, that there are security cameras throughout the queue, monitoring the queue. So people should have been monitoring this. And my understanding is that, like, I'm looking at this, I know that this happened fairly close to where you actually get on the ride. It's like, in other words, if they were waiting in the regular queue, or even in Lightning Lane, there should have been apparently, like, they worked up to this point. So security should have been aware that something was going on before it got to this point. I don't understand how it got to the point where they're throwing punches at, and it looks to me, from what I've seen in the video, there are a number of varying people throwing punches, like what maybe 4 or 5 different people, women and men, kind of. So look at, I mean, it looks like an all-out brawl.
If you consider, Ron, that what if one of these people had a weapon? Now I know they screen you in security, and you can see a little blue, this little girl here, little lady, she shows up, but she's got nothing.
No.
If one of these people pulls out a sharp object, I mean, what we've discovered is there is nothing, all this talk about all the cameras and all the security at Disney, blah, 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 blah. How many times do we see this where it's like, there's a big fight?
This is
nothing's going to happen.
Over and over and over again, because a friend of mine who is a cast member who was working during one of these brawls was over in Fantasyland, and he was working over in in front of the Peter Pan area, and the brawl broke out there, which that little area in front of the carousel, Peter Pan's flight, the Small World is over there. And he had to, be one of the people that called security over for that fight. And that was a little while ago. I'm not sure if that was a year or two ago, because time, but these things are getting, they seem to be happening more and more. And I don't think they're happening because people are there with cameras and social media. I think they're actually happening more and more. I think people they get very uptight. The prices are extremely high. People paid tens of thousands of dollars. Some people may have been saving up for a lifetime to get on this vacation in the first place. And it does a lot to your nervous system when you think that for any reason or whatever, you're not getting your money's worth. There's something going on that's wrong, and just people just lose it. And there's a lot more drinking in the parks too.
And a lot more alcohol. That's a great point. Lots of more alcohol. The air conditioning often isn't keeping up in the summer. You got a group behind you that's filled with raucous teenagers who are just being, jerks to you. You're stuck in the line for 80 minutes. Bada bing, bada boom. We can see how this is created by Disney. Erica, this is not how Disney once operated, though. If this kind of thing happened, security was there, lickety split. They were boom. This wasn't allowed to happen. And now we're in the age of cameras everywhere. And every month, if you check that park place, you look at our videos, every month there's a big brawl at a Disney park. And every month, nobody shows up to stop the brawl. Nobody is there to protect the kids. And that's really what, I find so egregious about this is you can have these big brawls. There are kids around and Disney security is nowhere. Erica, your thoughts on the safety issues at Disney parks these days?
Kind of sucks, considering that they were a brand that held themselves as safety first. I mean, isn't that like the number one key, that Ron has explained in the 5 keys when you're going through traditions? So it's really disheartening. And then you never really hear these things happening over at the other Florida parks like SeaWorld or Busch Gardens or Universal Studios. So I think I kind of agree with Ron. I think there is a combination of the heat. I think the drinking, there is a lot more alcohol pronounced these days than there was when we were growing up. going to the parks, and then add the costs on top of that. People are just, you're putting them in a pressure cooker, and it doesn't take much to trigger that, and it's just going to explode anywhere. It could be in a queue line, it could be in a restaurant, it could be just as you're walking by somebody else. And then Disney, as we all know, they've really scaled back on maintenance and apparently security, and not just at, they seemingly have it together at the front, but I'm questioning, where is your undercover security? They used to be known to have security everywhere.
Yeah, they had
And
plainclothes people who,
yeah.
who pretended to be tourists just so this kind of stuff didn't
Proof.
happen.
Here is proof. Clearly, they've scaled back on security in the parks, not just at the front where they're checking your bags.
Well, the
And
thing
it's
is, Erica, so I don't expect them to be there at every spot at every time. I do expect that when we watch this video and it's like, 2-3 minutes long of just what we're covering. We got a minute 15 and it's clearly already been going on, right? So, and nobody shows up. And we've got a break in it where we know like this seems to have been like a 5-minute kind of event. And it's the response time that's the huge problem. Like there's nobody close by. I just envision, Disney security's been lumbering over like, okay, I'm going to work on it. I don't want to be Eeyore. It's probably not their fault. It's probably that Disney doesn't have enough security resources right now.
See, there's one girl right there in the blue.
Mhm.
She's a cast member, but she shows up so late in the game, she can't figure out.
Yeah. What's the
Who-
blue
where-
shirt, Ron? Is that a security cast member in some way?
I don't believe so. I'm not really 100% sure. A lot of costumes honestly have changed over the last few years, so I'm not sure. This is disturbing. This is more especially disturbing because of the close quarters of that area of the queue. It's so hard to get somebody back in there quickly. There usually are some like back passageways and doorways that people can get through, like cast members can get through and stuff. I don't really know that area in particular very well. But it's just like Erica said, when we are trained in what I was trained in was the 4 key basics before they introduced inclusion. It's,
Inclusion.
the biggest one was safety. Like the whole thing was safe D and me, and the D of course stood for Disney. But like that was it's a huge, like just like tremendous, that we go through training. I remember training on things like how to lift boxes a certain way because they want you to be safe as a cast member, and like there's literally I can't remember all this stuff, but like I remember having to be on computers and training for all of that stuff, and what to do with your till and what to do with money and what to do with this and that. And so safety is supposed to be the number one priority at Disney. And it's not just with things like this, but we have seen a lot of other issues where safety concerns have been brought up.
Well,
Anyone
folks,
notice,
go ahead, Erica.
that it happened right by the exit door. I mean, if you're in a situation like that, I would have just left. I would have gone to the exit door. See ya.
Yeah, it's been like,
I'm not
see
part
ya.
of this.
Yep. I'm with you on that, Erica. Folks, keep the kids safe, and Disney, whatever you got to do to get more security, let's do it. A lot of money going into those parks. I think a lot of folks expect that a lot of money is going to go towards a lot of safety. So how about that, eh? Step it up, Diz. This is miss number, 73 at this point. Good grief. All right, the super chats, they are a-flowing, and we're happy to be knowing what you have to say. Wendy F. for 5. Favorite dessert? Available. What dessert is available? Yes, I'll have that, please. That's right. If it's got sugar in it, bring it on. Bring it on. Erica, what's your favorite, just flat out dessert? What do you go with?
Cake, vanilla cake, and buttercream icing.
Okay, Ron, what's your very favorite dessert?
Just a chocolate bar. My favorite chocolate bar is Three Musketeers. That's just me.
Yeah. So I'm going to say my favorite dessert probably homemade ice cream. But if it's not homemade ice cream, which I think is just unfair when you're on a diet, it's like, please don't even tell me it exists. But if it's not homemade ice cream, top of the line cheesecake is unbelievable. Top of the line cheesecake is just unbelievable.
Is that a brand?
No, it's just me saying if it's, because there's the cheapo cheesecakes you can get like at a gas station or Walmart or whatever. But you go to a real bakery that really knows what they're doing.
Oh, true.
And they make it the right way. Oh my.
Are you a New York style with like the cherry on top?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
that.
it.
I am
Classic New York style too.
Yeah.
Although I'll tell you, I prefer blueberries over cherries. Yeah, blueberries on the cheesecake. Blackberries are good too.
Blackberry girl. Mm-hmm.
Juliet for 2, like, subscribe, and share. And look at those beautiful beverages on the screen. We got coffee, we've got wine, maybe a beer. Is it a soda? I don't know. But cheers, ladies and gentlemen, with the emojis from Juliet. Dan's Life at the Kingdom member for 24 months. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Carry the 5 plus the 3. Indeed, I believe this is a birthday. This is a membership birthday. 24 months. Count it up, count. I believe that is 2 birthdays. Happy birthday to you, Dan's Life at the Kingdom, says Fight of Passage. Yes, it's a winner, right? Let the fight begin.
Make a wish. Blow out your candles.
We've also got Vader 3000, because it wasn't enough to just have Vader. We needed Vader 3000. Oy vey. For 5, as a former law enforcement officer, I can confirm that police usually show up after the violent act has happened. That's the caveat to police security helping you. Yeah, the problem is with Disney, they're supposed to be watching all the time with people ready to step in to, make sure these things don't happen. And every single time it happens, what do we see? Absolutely nobody there to protect you. And of course, you're there defenseless because, well, that's how you go into Disney. And we're not complaining about that. We're just saying it's going to take one time of somebody having a pointy thing. And suddenly, Disney's going to be in a whole lot of trouble and a lot of scrutiny. Disney, fix it now. Let's go. Ken Reihart for 2. Microsoft Excel says everything is just fine. It's fine. This is fine. Disney's security planning. Kelly out for 5 says Boston cream pie versus banana cream pie. Cheesecake by mom, close third. Bakes her own crust. And it's not graham cracker. It rises. It rises. And it's awesome. Hey, how about that? Boston cream pie versus banana cream pie. I'm not a banana kind of flavor guy. I mean, every once in a while, but I don't know. Like you remember they used to have, and I'm sure they still do. I don't do popsicles. I'm a grown up, darn it. But they, banana popsicles, right? I used to think, why in the world does anybody want a banana popsicle when there's a grape popsicle, and there's a pina colada popsicle? Who in the world wants a banana popsicle?
Chocolate covered frozen banana. That's a big theme park.
Unless you've been to Germany and you've had real banana gelato that tastes just like the banana, not artificial flavoring, or El Paso, that's a border town, and they have these magical little things called paletas, and they're freaking amazing.
Baletas or paletas?
Paletas with a P.
Paletas. All right. Mm-hmm. Erica, you had me at gelato, though. No more needed. I'm already in. Folks, let's talk about one more thing before we do Spider-Man. And if we play our cards right, we can get the Spider-Man topic in before Culture shows up. Because we all know what he's going to do if he gets here. And we're covering Spider-Man. Yeah, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
What? Who does that? Who calls him Spider-Man? Why?
His rabbi?
You know what's amazing? Culture shows up, and we'll be talking about superheroes, and we say, "Hey, Culture, who's your favorite superhero?" I say, Well, Pro, I like Superman. I like Batman. I like, I like all these characters, Iron Man. But what about that Spider-Man? And I go, what consistency, man. What are you doing to us? Anyway.
Superman.
Acting. All right, folks, let's talk about Disney because they got themselves in a whole heap of trouble. In fact, you might say the investors of Disney, the stockholders, got thrown in the briar patch. And if there's one thing we know about the briar patch, is that the folks with money don't do well in there. The Walt Disney Company stock is stuck. It's not doing well. We've covered this before, but now we're beginning to ask the question, is it because of Disney World? Remember that Disney World is a huge part of the Disney Company in terms of its profits. In fact, there have been times when the Disney World entity just by itself has been a huge chunk of the overall profit, like 30, 40%. So what's going on when we look at the Disney stock? As you can see here, over the past year, Disney stock has been down 18%. But take a look at this. If we go back to the 5-year, Disney is down 44%, basically 45%. And if we go to the max, when did Disney first become a stock worth $97? How long have you been holding on to this to stay even? It happened around January of 2015. So if you've held this stock since January of 2015, your money is worth less, but your stock is still worth the same amount of that money that is worth less. If you get what I'm saying, you've been holding on to this thing for 11 and a half years, and it's not moved. And now people are beginning to wonder, what is causing it to drop the 18% over the past year? What is causing this? Well, we have some thoughts on that. I'd like to show you the graph on specifically Magic Kingdom, which is the lead park at Walt Disney World. Now, it's actually worse if we look at the other parks. But we're looking here at a much more difficult to see and read chart. So thank you, Thrill Data. We really appreciate you switching this to night vision goggles. But this is what we've got, folks. We're going to go with it. You can see the wait times for Walt Disney World going back many, many years, okay? Going all the way back to 2014. Now, when we start counting is about 2018. And we do that because that's when Disney implemented some of their changes to how they handle FastPass. And then after the pandemic happens, which you can see we have a drop for the pandemic, after the pandemic happens, we can see that Disney returned with essentially the same kind of wait times for Magic Kingdom, and that since then, it has been steadily dropping every single year, including this year. And we correlate that, of course, with how many people are in the park, because the system has been the same since this point, and it was basically the same before this in terms of how they do wait time and how they charge money for you to skip the lines and all that kind of stuff. Using that same system, wait times have been dropping every single year. Now, if Disney World is having an attendance problem, and it seems like it is, we begin to wonder, was this stock being held up the whole time by the Vacation Kingdom? And is Disney in trouble now because, yeah, Star Wars struggles, and yeah, Marvel's not what it once was, except for Spider-Man, which Sony is making anyway. But in the end, maybe it was Disney World doing all the heavy lifting and giving stockholders the belief you're going to be okay. And as the attendance is dropping, Erica, I think some of those investors are preparing to go away. No financial advice being given, but this is not a great look for the Disney stock, and it's not a good look for Josh tomorrow. Erica, what are your thoughts? Erica, you're muted, so make sure you unmutify first.
I need to think on that for a second. Ron, you want to?
Ron, what are your thoughts about the idea that Disney attendance is in a not a good place, let's say?
Well, if you were to go back to the Thrill Data chart and you saw that the wait times were going down, there's a very unusual factor about that. If attendance simply were the same, wait time should be going up because there's fewer rides available right now. There's a lot of construction going on. There are a lot of rides that have gone down, been down, like Big Thunder was down for a very long time. No more Tom Sawyer's Island or Rivers of America or
to eat the crowds, right?
To relieve that. There's no dinosaur, no Dino Land in Animal Kingdom, for goodness sake. I mean, you would think that the wait times in Animal Kingdom should be sky high. So if the ride times are going down, that means attendance has gone down markedly more than just the ride times. If they have any way of propping up figures there, it's simply because they've maybe added more nighttime events that people are paying, additional for to, they go in, and instead Disney's doubling down on some of their days where they have people are paying for a day ticket to go into the Magic Kingdom, and then a different group of people are paying for a night ticket to go into the Magic Kingdom. So that might help relieve some of that financial pressure. And then here's the worst of all of this: Lightning Lane revenue. Lightning Lane revenue has got to be making up for some degree of a gap where the revenue was coming from. But my thought on that is that if they went back to the free fast pass system, people would still use their money. They would just use it in ways that make them happier. If I were a guest and I had a budget and I had to choose from that budget, let's say I had 10 grand to go on my vacation, but I know that I have to spend let's say $2,000 of that to get lightning lanes on top of everything else, right? From my family. That's $2,000 that I'm not spending on food. That's $2,000 that I'm not spending on merchandise, souvenirs. And it's to me, that feels like it would be taking away from the overall experience, especially on the food end of things. I'm a person, not everybody's like this, but I'm a person that when I'm on vacation, I want to experience the food in the park that I'm going to, whether it's Universal or Disney or whatever, because that's part of the overall experience. So rather than just, taking bologna sandwiches to save money and go in, you can do it that way. Nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying that everybody's different in the way that they like to experience vacations. And people might be spending the same amount or less. But yeah, Walt Disney World is a huge problem. People forget how big it is. I think there's like 30 resorts, so people are spending their money there. There are all of these parks, and if attendance is even flat and not going up, and revenue is flat and not really increasing year over year, especially as they're raising the prices as much as they are, there's definitely something wrong.
Absolutely. If we take a look now, if I can go back here, let's see here. There we go. August 5th, big day. I would say that's not far away, eh? But we're reading this from the Globe and Mail. The Globe and Mail. August 5th is going to be a big day here on this channel, here on the Pro channel, Valiant, Renegade, etc. Because, well, Disney stock's going to get another report, and you can see that if we go down here, it's not just the numbers that will matter, says the Globe and Mail. Disney kicked off the new fiscal fourth quarter with a dud. The live-action Moana remake has generated just $235 million in worldwide ticket sales since its theatrical release 3 weeks ago, a far cry from Toy Story 5. It doesn't go on to talk about Mando and Grogu, but that's a problem as well. And then it goes on to talk about, well, we're going to get some these movies that flopped on the streaming. Yay! Sure, hip hip hooray. Investors are holding on to the idea that revenue will rise more than 7% to $25.4 billion. But if that's going to be the case, Erica, that's going to be coming from the less people that are in the parks paying way more money to get that 7% increase, because box office isn't great for Disney this year. Where's that 7% increase going to come from? It's going to come from charging crazy amounts for Dole Whips and Mickey waffles and all that kind of stuff. You come to the park, hey, take this. And that's why, Erica, I think the other part is, get ready. I believe that Disney is going to be introducing a transportation ticket that you can pay for if you want to ride the boats and the monorails and the buses and all that kind of stuff to go to the resorts and do your resort hopping. I think they're going to start charging for that. They got to find a way to make more money with less people.
That makes my head hurt when you say that. I think
makes my wallet hurt.
I think the rubber band is finally and it's finally snapping. Raising prices isn't going to solve their problems. They should know this by now. I mean, aren't these smart people? They're all into the stock market, and don't they know math? Or is it just they only know their own version of math and not the American family household math, what we use on a day-to-day and monthly basis? I am so irritated with Disney right now with this. It's just common sense. You can't keep raising your prices and thinking it's going to solve your stock and your problems when it's not. You've been doing that, and how's that working for you? It's not working. Your attendance is getting lower and lower. And honestly, you raise the prices even more. Is that really going to make your attendance go up? And the few that can go, they're just going to restrict their wallets even more while they're in the parks. They'll go to ride the rides. They'll go to stay in the resorts. But when it comes to food and merch, they're going to draw the line there.
And what's interesting is going to the parks, they don't seem less crowded. And I think that's because people bunch in certain areas. So if you know the areas to go to in the park, you it's literally wide open. For example, go to Galaxy's Edge in Hollywood Studios, and there's hardly anybody there. And it's
Empty.
so funny. It's so funny to walk from Galaxy's Edge into Toy Story Land, because Galaxy's Edge is so empty, and Toy Story Land can be just packed. Because that's where the kids are, and they're meeting and greeting with Buzz and Woody and Jesse and all of them over there. The army men come through. You got Woody's Roundup Rodeo back there. You've got all kinds of fun. It's just really, really interesting. So,
let's think about that for a minute, though, real quick. Hollywood Studios. Why does it feel just as crowded, even though we know it's not? I mean, we've looked at the data on Hollywood Studios. We're not going to do it right now, but you remove Muppet Vision. And that's a 400 seat theater that also has a pre-show, which has capacity for 400. Okay, so at any given point in time, 800 people can be in that show. Now, it typically wouldn't be that; it'd be about half full, but that's still 400 people that were doing something. Mm-hmm. And they destroyed Mama Melrose's, they destroyed Pizza Rizzo. We can think about how many people would have been in those locations at that time. They also replaced Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy with the Villains show that nobody is going to watch. So that's empty. So you start thinking about this and you realize, well, that's why it seems so crowded, is because people aren't able to go to the places they used to be. And so then they're crowded into the spaces that are still available.
Right. They do not have they've got less space right now, very clearly in the parks. Animal Kingdom. A fourth of the park or more is gone with Dinoland being gone right now. And that what was, the Muppets area that's going to become Monstropolis is actually a huge area, not just the theater itself. But again, like you said, there was walking area. There was a shop that, of course, was open and closed from time to time back there, which, by the way, the theming of that was amazing. And they got rid of that, which was the theming of the backstage of the Muppet Show. It was very cool. There's just so many things that they've gotten rid of. And, Disney does get a lot of people at Walt Disney World who have never been before. So they don't all know what they're missing out on. And a lot of people don't even know when they're listening to Laughing Place at the monorail station, which I keep hearing every single time I go now. And I'm like, why did you take this away from us?
Everybody needs a laughing place, yo ho ho. Everybody needs. You know what? It's not a laughing place right now for Disney stock holders. Sorry, Mexican Iron Man. Stock is down, and I got to say, folks, I wonder. Is it because attendance is down at Disney? And if attendance is down, maybe that means Epic is having an effect. And maybe it means that when the box office takes a hit like it did with Moana and Mandalorian and Hoppers, and they might be really afraid about Doomsday. They're pretending right now that Spider-Man is going to carry them, but I think they have their fears that it could go the other way. Disney World is not the backstop any longer. It's no longer able to save them from all of the other stuff they've been up to. And by the way, Dana Walden, we believe, who is number 2 at Disney and is over everything creative, Dana Walden is about to hyper-politicize this company yet again. So investors, Wall Streeters, get ready for that. I don't think the win is coming. I don't think the wind is going to change at Disney, except in a bad way. Who do we got? We got Kalioth for 5. Disney is a U.S. company. Hasn't the global narrative been one of U.S. is not good, and to avoid it? Since many people traveled in, Did travel habits change? There has been, so this year, some of the loss in attendance has been because of the conflict in Iran. Some of the Europeans, feared that World War III was on the way. The orange Godzilla was going to destroy us all. And they also thought that oil prices were going to skyrocket. Now, I'm not saying that oil prices are great, but decisions were made for vacays this year from overseas that may not have panned out the way that the prognosticators believed. So that's partly what's going on this year. We've got Cherokee out there, remember, for 1 month. 1 month. I'm going to miss Kumba. Poor Kumba. Ron, tell us about Kumba.
What am I missing?
The
Come on,
roller
Ron.
coaster at Busch Gardens.
Come on,
Kumba Busch Gardens.
It's being dismantled.
I have only been to Busch Gardens one time since I've lived here. That was 2017. And the funny thing is, I think we bought a pass for the year.
You didn't ride Kumba?
I don't think. Maybe I did. I don't know.
Ron, you should have been there yesterday. It was the final day.
Well,
You just Thanos snapped Kumba. They did too.
I guess I won't be singing Kumbaya.
Oh boy. Erica, are you a roller coaster gal?
I am to an extent. I won't ride every coaster, but I love the engineering aspect. I think they're engineering marvels, and I love following the industry and studying them. It's fun.
If you had to pick a favorite coaster you've been on, what's your favorite?
Oh my gosh. I'd say Montu at Busch Gardens. That's my number one favorite.
Ron, what's your fave? What's your favorite coaster?
I really like Manta at SeaWorld because it makes me feel like I'm flying. It's the one where you kind of go flat and flat. And then and I love Guardians as a coaster. I'm very glad it replaced Ellen because I wasn't happy with Ellen, but the Universe of Energy in general, I really liked. So it's a double-edged sword for me, but I think they did their best incorporating the IP as they could to give people some type of a thrill in Epcot. However, boy, do I still miss 1980s Epcot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would go with, I've got a bunch that I love, right? I love Big Thunder Mountain Railroad for the theming. I love Rock and Roller Coaster for the fact that they did black lights and surround sound with the coaster. I think that's a great idea. And I love, the Hulk flat out. I just love that ride. I think that's everybody wants me to say Velocicoaster, but I love the Hulk. Going under the bridge is so cool.
Yeah.
But I'm going to pick one for me that kind of outside the box. I think my favorite coaster is Dollywood's Thunderhead, the wooden roller coaster,
Okay.
which I don't even think people who go to Dollywood they would pick like the Wild Eagle or they would pick Lightning Rod, but I think Thunderhead is the best. It's just, what a coaster. It's just incredible. The speed and all of that kind of thing off the wooden coaster.
Is that the one they turned to a hybrid?
Well, it's wooden, but I think it does have steel tracks embedded into the wood. So we've got, but true hybrid is Lightning Rod. The first Dragon Queen for 5 says, for American members, after, I don't know what the goal means. Hugs for all. Well, Dragon Queen, let me explainify. AMA stands for Ask Me Anything. And maybe we should call it AUA, Ask Us Anything. But if we hit the Super Chat goal today, which let's see how close we are at 6 out of 15, folks. Thank you so much. On our way, almost halfway. If we do that, folks, you can ask us all kinds of questions and we'll give our very best answers to them for free if we hit that Super Chat goal today. So there you go, Dragon Queen. There's the answer.
I will say this. I have a love in my heart for the Screaming Eagle at Six Flags St. Louis, just because I remember when it first came out. I don't remember 77, 78. I was a little kid when I got just tall enough to ride that coaster for the first time. That was a thrill. I don't remember the exact circumstances, but the feeling from that memory as a little kid being able to ride Screaming Eagle, it's just one of those things that, like, it's where my love of theme parks kind of came from.
Yeah, so I have a love for Six Flags coasters until I go back and ride them again. And then that love goes away real fast because let me tell you, Those are through childhood tinted glasses. Once you go back and ride any of those, I'm not trying to be mean to Six Flags, but you go back and ride them, man. You need a chiropractor as soon as you get off those things. They are.
That's how I feel about Space Mountain currently. I hope they
Woo.
change that.
Are you in favor of the change that we're probably going to hear about?
I
am
actually am.
too.
It's one I'm very excited about, and I'm like, Tomorrowland is to me in the land in Magic Kingdom that needs the most love. Frontierland they're destroying and
Destroyed. Took it out. Yeah.
Exactly. And I still, it's the irony of villains destroying Frontierland is just the best. It's villains destroying Frontierland.
Oh yeah. Yep. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if he joins us during the segment, we'll bring him in. You know who he is. He's the Spider-Man guy. But we got to talk about this. We got to talk about the fact that Spider-Man is the biggest brand on the planet. And yet, they can basically do nothing with this guy in the parks that matter most. Let's talk about it right now.
It's showtime! Straight from the heart of the park.
Well, folks, we are still waiting on an update. And actually, I will refreshify right now to see if we have the update. And we do. All right. It just happened. Wow. I was not expecting that. Breaking right now, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking. We'll play the thing. Hang on. You all say, what is the breaking news? Hang on. As predicted, Spider-Man is the biggest domestic opening movie of all time. I couldn't stand what they did on Sunday when the headlines from the trades all gave it to Endgame and said, Spider-Man comes in close number 2. And I said, wait a minute, these numbers are not done yet. And these numbers, by the way, that you're seeing on the screen are not done yet. They've got all the zeros, but they've gone ahead and raised the estimate for the weekend. And Spider-Man Brand New Day is now the biggest domestic opening ever. I believe Endgame was at 358, if I recall correctly. So 360, it might be 356, but 360 clears it. And so Spider-Man is number 1. Hoorah, go Spider-Man, go Tom Holland. It's a great film. Give it a 9.7 out of 10. Okay. Now, all that said, Spider-Man is the biggest brand on the planet. There's nothing else that comes close at this point. In fact, Star Wars Mandalorian Grogu, in its entire run, the latest Star Wars film made about the same amount that Spider-Man made in one day. Mandalorian Grogu made $345. Spider-Man made $345 in a day, probably. Okay? Talking about globals. All right, so here's the problem. Disney has a lot of land dedicated to Star Wars. Erica, I don't know if you heard about that. They built some Star Wars stuff in their parks. You've heard about that before?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ron, you heard about that?
It was something, but it leaves me on the edge.
Yeah. Well, yeah, good grief. There's blue milk and green milk, and the green milk's probably gone. And they got a little itty bitty land, over at Disneyland. Talking about California Adventure, dedicated to Avengers Campus, with a single Spider-Man ride, but they don't have a lot of land, and they're not going to do any more Spider-Man stuff. Now, everybody just think about this with me, okay? Because Disney, one would think, has, even if they don't have the theatrical rights, they have the property rights to the biggest brand on the planet, Spider-Man. And they essentially cannot do anything with that brand in their domestic theme parks. In Disneyland, due to size and due to the planning of this, they thought Avengers was going to be the biggest thing, so they don't have the ability to add anything more Spider-Man. And at Walt Disney World, they're not even allowed to add anything Spider-Man because of the contract with Universal. Now, here's what's interesting, though, and this is what's so amazing to me. Universal also cannot take advantage of any of this because they are stuck. They can't change anything on their Marvel Superhero Island land. Audio turn off. We don't need you to play. They can't change anything in this area. They can't, so they can't bring in Tom Holland to do an update to the ride because of the way the contracts are set for Spider-Man, the biggest brand on the planet. Disney can do whatever they want with Star Wars. They can add, they can take away, they can do anything. But when it comes to Spider-Man, They're stuck. They got nothing. And neither can Universal. So we are squandering the biggest brand on the planet because of contracts from 20, 30 years ago. There's a man who knows all about this. I'd like to bring him on right now. They call him the legend, the myth, the man of the hour. Oh, I mean, man of the hour. Sorry. Culture, could you talk to us about Spider-Man and the strange situation here where it is easily the biggest brand on the planet? And Culture, you may not have seen the breaking news. I'll put it back on the screen. This just happened to Culture. Spider-Man officially #1. Bigger than Endgame.
As predicted in my video that I dropped this morning, this was definitely going to revise up and become the biggest domestic opening we've ever seen for a superhero. And you know what? It deserves it. It was well done. It was something fun. It gave the fans what they wanted, and so the fans enjoyed it and made it as big as it is. But for all of that and everything else that's on the business side of this equation, the biggest disappointment for all the companies involved that have any ownership rights at all to Spider-Man is going to be the fact that nobody can actually do anything with it at the theme parks. So
How crazy is this, Culture?
it's insane.
How crazy is this that they cannot capitalize on the biggest brand on the planet? Now, they've given an entire land to Avatar. They've given an entire land to Star Wars.
Yeah.
They've given an entire land to Avengers. They can't do anything with Spider-Man. None of them can do anything with Spider-Man. Now, they can do it overseas, and they should. But this is wild to me that they... And the investors should be furious about these contracts and the fact that they've not been reconfigured yet.
Okay, real quickly, let me revise some of those talking points real quick.
Please.
One, at Disneyland, DCA, they have Avengers Campus. Part of that is a Spider-Man attraction.
Right, but they can't do anything else because they're locked in due to land issues.
Well, they're locked in for a lot of other reasons as well. But it's
Anaheim and they don't get along with the locals real well these days, eh?
They used to own everybody that was part of the city council. Now they don't anymore. And look, I love Spider-Man. It's one of he was for a long time my very favorite superhero. So the fact that it's doing so well, selfishly, I'll just say I'm glad. But at the same time, it is the biggest property that Disney can't exploit, that Universal can't exploit, that any of the other previous rights holders can't exploit. And that's absolutely sad. And I'm going to tell you that the attraction that they built at Avengers Campus is one of the most disappointing attractions you can participate in. You get a workout and worn out trying to do this web slinging thing.
Well, it's basically Toy Story Mania mixed with pretending to be a mime
on Connect. Yeah, you're doing this with
that's even better than Connect from Xbox from about 10 years ago. Yeah. Absolutely.
And it's like, well, yeah, but you can buy upgrades for your theme park ride experience. I'm like, what now?
Yeah. Well, so Erica, they've got one ride at Disneyland and California Adventure. Yeah. They've already set aside all this space down here. It's being worked on to add new stuff, but none of it is Spider-Man. So this is it. Like, and to show people just how ridiculous we have things are. For this film that is the biggest film of all time for domestic opening and #2 globally. This is a huge, unbelievable film. Any company would this is like hitting the lottery. This is what Disney has for Spider-Man, Brand New Day in their parks. You ready? WDW News Today reporting this. Erica Conrad, Spider-Man themed Spider-Bot. That's that little thing there. Special Uno cards and more. Okay, let's see. What do we got here? You can get a zip-up hoodie, a Spider-Bot, Uno cards, Guardians of the Galaxy mission. Oh, come on, seriously? And this is the level they went to. This blows my mind. If you're at Disneyland today and you want some Spider-Man merch for Brand New Day, you got a Disneyland D with a spider web behind it. You're welcome. Erica, they have completely and totally botched this. And I think because they thought Avengers was going to be huge and Sony was going to do whatever they're going to do with Spider-Man, and suddenly Sony has completely upstaged them.
Okay. You guys, this might be controversial. People may not like what I'm about to say. I'm a Disney purist. This is not Disney. It does not belong in any of your parks. Get rid of it.
What about Winnie the Pooh, Erica? Does Winnie
That's
belong?
Disney. That
Okay.
belongs.
Okay.
But all this Marvel stuff, Star Wars, I'm sorry. That's just, you bought it. You didn't create it. It doesn't belong in your parks. That's just me. I've been that way for years.
Well, the good news is, Erica, they really can't add any more of Spider-Man to their parks.
Because Disneyland, that little Marvel, whatever area, is the ugliest thing I've ever seen for a Disney park. I'm like,
It really is. It really is. Ron, they've got the little animatronic that does the flipperooskies and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, the idea that they put an entire land for Pandora that they don't own, Avatar, and they can't do anything with Spider-Man, then Universal can't either. They're stuck too. There's nothing good happening. Like, Brand New Day is not driving more people to go ride Spider-Man in Universal. So, like, everybody in the theme park business is losing by these contracts.
Well, in a sense, but I will say this: I do think that just the idea that Spider-Man is, again, a thing right now, popular right now, it is going to much more likely drive people to Universal Islands of Adventure than Walt Disney World, because if you want to go see Spider-Man and you're in Florida, you got to go to Universal. They've got you've got a meet and greet with Spider-Man there. I don't know contractually what that Spider-Man is allowed to say when it comes to like questions that he might get asked about, the MCU stuff. So he may not be able to contractually say much. But the land at Universal does it's got the more 1990s aesthetic, the cartoon aesthetic. But Brand New Day, it actually has more of that type of aesthetic in the movie. So it's just kind of funny that they it's almost like Disney and Marvel and Sony are sending more people, trying to send more people to Universal than they are Walt Disney World. And of course they have not been able to work out any of these contracts. All they have over there at Walt Disney World with Marvel is Guardians of the Galaxy. I think there was even some type of a thing where they were trying to use a Marvel wrap once on a monorail. And they had to not run it into Epcot because then it would go into a park. It was such a
they actually got
convoluted.
They actually got away with that. They could run it through Epcot. I think they couldn't use it for Disneyland, but that monorail wrap was the Avengers wrap you're talking about, which included the Hulk.
2012.
Yeah, and so it like you said, it's very convoluted. It's the least convoluted deal is the one that they have with James Cameron's Lightstorm for Avatar, but that's a whole other conversation.
Well, let's talk though, Culture, about how much worse this gets, because X-Men is their next big thing. I mean,
they them.
Oh, I'm sorry, X-Men. Yeah. X-Men. That is so that was launched now with Spider-Man. And Jean Grey starts it off, right? The new X-Men that they're going to go, like, that's going to be the whole Marvel universe. It's going to be X-Men, X-Men, X-Men. And Culture, they can't use that either. And Universal can't capitalize on that either, because Universal can't change anything. There's really not a whole lot of X-Men in the Marvel Island. And, over at Avengers Campus at Disneyland, they don't have room to do anything with X-Men. So, like, you're going to base this entire giant thing, X-Men, the whole future of Marvel, and there's nothing they can do in the theme parks with that either. So this just keeps getting worse and worse for them. That they've picked the wrong horses. They picked Star Wars. They picked Avengers. But right now it looks like it's Spider-Man and X-Men all the way.
They didn't pick the wrong horses. They ruined them. They
ran them into the ground.
Yeah, I mean, Star Wars could have been great. A Star Wars land was something that everybody would have clamored for if it were done correctly, and it was just wasted.
Well, and they wasted Star Wars. So, Tom Holland talks about how he got online and listened to podcasts from Spider-Man fans. He did his research. He knew what the fans wanted, and they put that in the movie, and he had some creative control and was able to rewrite the script. He gave the fans what they want. Disney does the opposite with all of their franchises, right? Spider-Man is controlled by Sony theatrically. But Disney, what do? They say, oh, we're going to subvert your expectations.
They negotiated a new deal just a few years ago. I want to say 2019 with the Spider-Man deal. On the, because they wanted 100% of the merchandise, right? So that merchandise is actually sold in Universal Parks in that comic book land area, which I find funny. But set that aside. But part of that deal just guaranteed these rights in perpetuity as it did before. So do you know who wins really when it comes to merchandise? It isn't the people who own the merchandise sales. It's the video game sales that Sony gets. Video
my
games
gosh.
are vastly more
Huge.
valuable than merchandising rights.
Culture, do you know how that works in terms of like if they do a Spider-Man skin in Fortnite, does that go to Disney or does that go to somebody else?
As far as I know, that actually goes to Sony. I think they have to develop that deal with Sony. Yeah, they control those rights. The merchandise rights are different. Those are Disney's. It's the same. It's like this. Okay, so with Disney, Sony, Disney puts in 25% of production expenses for this Marvel Studios co-production it has with Sony and Columbia, and then they get 25% of the studio take side of the equation as well. Sony's responsible for the other 75%. And in this last film, I will say they had a much more collaborative effort between everybody, because Rothman actually recently talked about that in an interview article that was written on it. But Tom Holland also had a very big role in the creative side of the equation.
Rewrote the thing. Ultimately, this is Tom Holland's movie. I mean, he came in and said, I don't like this. I like this. We're going to change this. And he could do that because he's Spider-Man at this point. I mean,
so I want to ask you the question.
Mhm.
For how long do you think Universal wants to stick their thumb in Disney's eye over the X-Men characters like Wolverine and for Hulk? And
let me add that up real quick,
Spider-Man?
Culture. Let me add that up.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Forever.
Okay, that's what I thought. And with the licensing deal they negotiated, they absolutely can do it forever. And it's like Disney just didn't go out and say, "Hey, I need this from you."
Disney could have said, we're going to give you so much money, it's unbelievable. Oh, wait. They did that when they bought Hulu, which paid for Epic Universe, but nobody remembers that.
We'll ride the rides and see the sights, conquer lines, face our frights. Oh, it's a happy holiday with you. Oh, it's a happy holiday with you. Yes, you. Oh, it's a happy holiday with you. Oh, it's a happy holiday with you. Yes, you.
There we go. One more for the top. Triple decker, just how you like it.
Wow, thanks, Mr. Walt.
You enjoy it.
We will.
All right, folks, we're talking about the best lounges and clubs and places to be inside Disney World and maybe a little bit inside Disneyland. Tom Bricker over on Disney Tourist Blog is posting this, and I have to agree with him. He says, my favorite lounge at Disney World is a bigger secret than Club 33. And look at that view of Spaceship Earth. Where would you get that sort of view? Well, let's talk about it. He says the top entry in the bucket list for many Disney fans is Club 33, the not-so-secret society that's hidden in all 4 parks at Walt Disney World plus Disneyland, Tokyo, and Shanghai. But let me tell you, the one in Animal Kingdom, yeah. But what if I told you, he says, there was a better lounge with a less burdensome barrier to entry that's actually a better kept secret at this point? And he's right, because the barrier to entry for Club 33 is insane. Club 33 is the stuff of legends, thanks to its rich history as the in-park hideaway where Walt Disney famously intended to host VIPs. However, here's a hot take. Our friend Mr. Bricker says, I don't have any desire to do Club 33. Now, I'm not going to say that. Club 33 is a cool place, right? There's things to see and pictures not to take. There's food that you won't find anywhere else, and you're treated in a special way. And you know what? I think you're paying at least half for the idea that you get to open the special door that nobody else can open, and most people don't even know it's there. Okay. But what Mr. Bricker says is there's a better lounge, and you see it on the screen. It's the one that's above ImageWorks at Journey into Imagination, the pavilion. It's the Imaginatrium. He says it's not a secret. It is among the general public. More than 95% of Epcot guests on any given day probably have no clue it's there. But within the fan community, they know it's there. This is the thing, though. This is the thing. You can get in here in the evenings, and that is what Tom Bricker says is currently a secret and probably no more, especially now that we're covering this. And he goes on to talk about how incredible this is. I'm showing the pictures as we go through. The LED lights and everything change at nighttime and also coordinate to some level with the rest of Epcot. And you get to see all the lights of Epcot through this. And he goes on to talk about this. This is the best lounge in Disney. Now, what do you have to do to get into this lounge at night? You have to be in the DVC. You got to be part of Disney Vacation Club, which is expensive, but some people are. Culture, you are a member of DVC, I believe. And as a DVCer, Culture, what do you think about this idea that they've now got the...
I've been there.
Well, have you been there at night?
I don't recall going in there at night, but to escape the heat of the summer days, I've been in there.
Apparently, it's amazing at night, Culture. We need to go. We need to go check this out at night and give our own review of it.
We will. We'll go up there, or I'll have somebody go up there on my behalf. But it's comfortable. It's a nice place. Believe it or not, you can sip on soda up there for free and other beverages, and sometimes they have snacks and things like that. And it's just a nice, comfortable place to lounge and recharge your phone, recharge your batteries, and cool down from a core body temperature of 700 degrees.
I think it should be available to annual pass holders too.
I think
nice.
that it should be. My favorite lounge, of course, was the Visa Lounge, the Disney Chase Visa Lounge that was above the American Experience. I still think that one is one of the was that changed into a new Club 33? I can't answer that question.
I think that is. I think that's a Club 30. I think that's Epcot's version of Club 33 now.
And honestly, that would explain why it's no longer a Disney Visa Lounge. It was that space is phenomenal, especially with the little buffet table that they would put out and everything else. It's very similar to Club 33's. I can imagine they could set that up as a restaurant. It's a huge space.
Let me ask you about this, Culture. Have you ever been to Club 33?
Yes.
Okay.
I actually ate in Walt's dining room.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So Tom is suggesting that this is better than Club 33. I think sometimes Club 33 can be pretentious, but I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just saying it can be. I think some of the people who go there, some of the people, not all the people, maybe not even the majority of the people, but some of the people who go there, it's a little bit stuffy and they're a little bit high on their own supply. But I still think, Culture, I think Club 33 is better than a lounge, even with the cool lighting. Even seeing Spaceship Earth, Club 33 is still cooler, because of the amazing food options you have and that sort of thing.
The original one, I would agree. I think here's the thing. The place is so special and you're in such reverence that while I know I ordered some kind of steak, I can't rightly recall anything about it because the experience outweighed the food. Now, every other place I've eaten that is so-called special in any Disney park, the experience didn't outweigh the food. And I'm a huge foodie, and actually Pro knows this. I appreciate really good food. I'm very selective in what I choose to eat at various places.
Same here. Yeah, we're the same mind.
Yeah, I want to understand the preparation, and if let's say I need to pair it with something, if we're talking about an adult beverage or not. But I'll just say this: I think Club 33, the experience is greater than even the food that you're eating. The service is spectacular. These are like the same quality servers that you used to get at the California Grill or someplace like that.
Now, all that said, if you can get into, because what Culture is talking about is across the country, if you can get into ImageWorks at night as a DVC member, and again, I think all of these should be made DVC, and you don't have to make it annual pass for the lowest level Floridian thing, because you might get overwhelmed. People might not be able to get into the lounge if that was the case. But you can do the highest level annual pass, the highest level AP holders in DVC. I just think these things need to be more accessible. But Ron, you know all about these lounges, and folks should go over to ImageWorks at night if they can get in there. But Ron, you know about these lounges, you know about the best places to eat. What would you say, in your opinion, what are the best places for the ultimate Disney luxury experience? What would you recommend?
boy, you put me on the spot there.
Well, here, let me throw you another curveball.
Takumite was probably, if you really want a good experience and you want like a better service and everything. Do you know what Takumite is over the new one at in Japan?
Yeah, it's the one that's what, $200 a plate.
Yeah, more than that, but yeah. So because you know that if you go to Japan, your service is going to be excellent. The servers, the cooks, the chefs, everybody over there, they are from Japan. They're going to give you their best, and you're going to get an amazing experience out of it. And it's less than
Victoria and Albert's.
Victoria and Albert's.
Which, by the way, Ron, that was my curveball I was going to throw you. I've heard Victoria and Albert's is kind of not as good. I don't want to,
That's what. Well, lately I'm hearing that for the price, which just got jacked up, that it's
like
not
crazy
as good as it once was. And the DVC lounges I've been in, the most recent one I was at was the Frontierland Lounge that used to be the shooting gallery.
Yeah.
They're nice. They're set up well. There's oddly plenty of room in there. It's funny because they do restrict entrance, but I guess they restricted to keep the amount of room and shoulder space and whatever. Because when you go in, there's plenty of space. They always have some nice snacks, soda, coffee, tea, all that's free. Or complimentary, I should say, when you go in. I have plenty of friends that are DVC. I've never been to that the Epcot one at night. I'd like to go up there at night.
You just want to sneak in the rainbow tunnel. I know what you're up to.
Yeah, well,
Stay out of there, Ron. You're gonna get yourself in trouble.
I'm actually not that into rainbow tunnels, if you know what I mean. But
I don't know what you mean, Ron. We'll have to talk about this after the show. I know nothing of what you speak of. Innocent little headphone covered ears. Don't know
what I don't know is, are there DVC lounges in Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom? Because if there are, I am not aware of those.
Oh gosh, let me think about that.
Oh no, the other space that I've been in, which I don't think is currently used for anything right now, is above the Garden Grill, the third floor at the Land Pavilion, which at one point in time was either used by Kraft or Nestle, I think, as their corporate lounge.
Is that being used for anything right now? I don't know of anything that's using it.
I think so. The only time I've been up there was on a backstage tour, and they took us around, and it was pretty empty, and it's kind of just used as a break room, I guess. But it's nice.
Kind of like Wonders of Life Pavilion, eh?
Yeah. Oh God, Wonders of Life. I have very frustrating.
I can't think of a DVC lounge in Hollywood Studios. I can't think of one. So anyway, okay. So Erica, places that you might be able to go inside Disney. I think this is probably one of the coolest. Talking about the upstairs of ImageWorks at night. But Erica, I wish Disney would open these up more. I wish that you could pay as a standard guest to get to go into these things and rest and relax and charge your phone and get a drink, get a snack, let the kids have some air conditioning. I think this would greatly improve the quality of life for guests at the parks. And I think you can do this. There's enough places. I mean, Ron's talking about one of these places being just a break room now. I have no idea what Disney is thinking, why they do not allow their guests to have a place, especially in the age of cell phones, where we're on our cell phones, when the battery is dying. Give people a place in the 110-degree heat index to go inside and charge their freaking phones.
I don't know. You got me when it comes to why does Disney do the things that they do. It's like the $1 million mystery I don't think we're ever going to solve. I agree. I think I miss the days when everything wasn't either overly monetized. I just miss the days where if you found a place to cool off and chill, you could go. You didn't have to pay a fee for it. You didn't have to be a part of some kind of exclusive membership or member to this or that. It was just there. You could go either in that shaded area or that pavilion or that indoor space, and you could just go and chill and get away from the heat. Your kids could take a little nap in their strollers. You could even have a spot to eat, if there was no place to sit in the immediate area where you got your food, or maybe you brought your food from home. But they've made it really difficult to just relax in their parks like that. I wish they would kind of ease off a little bit. And, it's miserably hot outside. You have kids all over the park with their parents. Like, can you give the parents a little bit of a break here? Because little Timmy is, screaming his little heart out because it's so freaking hot, and there's hardly any place to go.
It's always little Timmy. Timmy's always the troublemaker.
I just wish they would go back to the way things used to be. Bring back some of those. Not everything has to be monetized. Sorry, that's what I want to say.
No, I'm with you. And Culture, I'd like to throw you the last word on this, because to Erica's point, this is how things used to be.
Yeah.
We're looking at Epcot right now.
Yeah.
If we go over, you can see this entire building was destroyed. The entire building. And this is not a small building. It's a huge building, okay? Air conditioning everywhere. And here's the thing, Culture. Back here, I don't know if people remember this. This door right here led to the length of this entire building was plants outside with glass windows. And the length of that space, which is huge, was seating with charging ports, air conditioning, and lots of space for kids to jump and run and do all that kind of stuff. And they didn't charge a penny for it.
Well,
that's how it used to be.
And the other side of the building, the I guess we're looking at north, south, so south. The southern side of that same structure was very similar in its construction. You could definitely go tuck yourself in there, and it was fantastic. And I miss it. In fact, like you said, there were many places before in many of these parks that no longer exist. For example, one of the pavilions that's not properly used is the Odyssey Pavilion that's still there at Epcot, and that one was a food location. There it is, right there. It's used for festivals in a limited capacity, but that could be used as a lounge space for people, to buy in for maybe a quick service.
So I'm going to say no on the Odyssey, Culture, and I'll tell you why. It's because they are using it for festivals, and that's fine. But here's the thing:
the front part.
If we have this,
man, don't get
then it's like, okay, if we have this giant building, it's like, lounge me up, baby. Put in a giant indoor playground for the kids and let's go. What are we doing?
Yeah, that pavilion's allowed to fall into disrepair pretty substantial. So, look, there are only 4 DVC lounges in Disney World. Obviously, the Imagination one we were just talking about.
Frontierland, Imagination.
Magic Kingdom has the Frontierland, McKim's Mile House. Then you have Bay Lake Tower, which is the top of the World Lounge.
Yeah.
And then finally,
is that the villain thing? Is it villain themed?
There's villain. Yeah, there's villain stuff up there.
Okay.
And then the Disney Springs Lounge is the other one. And look, they like the only one that I can recall at Disneyland was the second floor of the launch bay, and I don't even know if it's there anymore.
I've never understood this. I don't understand this. They talked about this behind the scenes. It's been so long now, I feel completely comfortable saying this. They could have massage chairs. They could pamper their guests, and they could give it for free to DVC and to the top level AP holders. And then they could charge regular guests if they want to go in and give you the full blown, hey, it's hot out there. You want an iced lemonade slush, and you want to sit back in the massage chair, and you want to charge your phone? We've got rapid charge. Like, I have no idea why they don't do this. They have empty space. They can do this.
Let's be real. If they were to do that, they're going to charge everybody, especially for a massage chair.
Well, sure. Sure. But I'm going to pay for that massage chair. I'll tell you that. You give me, everybody walking out there, with the brand new shoes that they shouldn't have worn because they should have just wore what was already worn in. Everybody would be like, foot massage? Yes, please. I will give you $50 for a mechanical, non-human foot massage right now, please. But Disney clearly doesn't understand give them the booze. What's to lose when you give them the booze? That's the whole Disney way these days. All right. right, we've got one super chat in. Folks, we are not going to hit our goal, I don't believe, unless somebody comes in and saves the day. We've got one story left to go, but that's okay, folks. We hit that goal so many times, and you all are the stars who make it happen. So we just want to say thank you. We never forget how generous you've been. And if we have an off day on super chats, it's okay. And you all take care of you first, of course, because that's what matters most. Ken Reihart for 2, Lightning Lane Lounge Pass. Pay for that AC. Can you imagine if they start lightning laning the lounges if they follow our advice? There's a lightning lane for it.
So I was in restaurant Marrakesh, Morocco, which
how in the world did you get in there?
Well, it's just close. It was the annual pass holder lounge for the summer season.
Yeah.
So the temporary annual pass holder lounge, and it's going to be.
I thought you meant you got into the restaurant itself as opposed to okay.
No, the reason I'm bringing this up is I have news that I didn't even know. I asked a cast member about it reopening as a restaurant ever, and they said it can't. They said there's something that has to do with some type of permit or something that facility can't ever get again. And I'm like, I don't know all of it about, but the cast member basically said space can never reopen as a restaurant, and I'm wondering if it has to do with the code under which it was built, and now it doesn't comply with that code, or
you think because RCID turned into SIFTOD, now they're under Florida rules, and as opposed to hey, we're Disney.
It's possible, but I was just really surprised. So they can only use that space is now used like as some type of a lounge all year. And
we got lounge space everywhere at Disney. Why are we not using it?
There's plenty of space. There's the World Showplace Pavilion, which I don't think they use that often, which was a pretty good international. It was a festival pavilion, like just used as that for 2021, 2022. The world, the other one, the Gold Dome was used as the festival showplace for a while. Wonders of Life, yeah.
They use it for food and wine. I got to ask a question because this is something that's bothered me for a long time. Why is the stupid Millennium tent still up?
You talking about the one behind the World Showcase?
Yeah,
they still use that. On occasion, they still use it, and they especially use it for restroom facilities. Amazingly,
only for festival stuff. It's just
but festivals are there. Now, if you gave me the option of putting a new country there, would I take it? You bet. But they are using it.
It's two wasted expansion pads.
Yeah,
and,
it is.
And not only that, I mean, what are they doing with the area where we were supposed to get Mary Poppins? I mean, there's
nothing.
There's so much that they could be offering right now. The low value efforts of the pub on the water, next to the cheap fish and chips and all that. I'm just like, okay, I understand the waterside restaurants, but goodness, they have all this land they're not doing anything with. And where is my Japanese high-speed train adventure in Japan?
That would be cool.
Right now, what Culture is asking for, folks, he wants to be launched from a maglev train at high speeds. He's like Gonzo out of the cannon. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, by the way.
I want the Rhine River ride finally in Germany.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
There.
I want to know what the heck's going on in the chat. Kaylee Oth is talking about purple potato smoothies, but look at this guy.
Oh.
Lauren Connor says, I was planning to purchase a golden fertility idol that was stolen from me by a dastardly Frenchman once, but got preoccupied. What is this? Is Lauren reacting the Temple of Doom in the chat out there? What's going on?
It's something like that.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. The chat's gone cray-cray. All right, folks, it's going to be cray-cray when you visit the Dish in a little bit. Ron, after this next story, we're going to send folks over to the Dish. Tell the folks over there what you might be wishing to provide in terms of news of the day.
Well, we've definitely, we've got... Lou Wasserman's Ghost will be on the Dish, and of course he's going to provide his insight as to what's going on with the box office. Spider-Man Brand New Day just breaking all kinds of records, and how I think that it's going to end up being an actual embarrassment for Doomsday, because I don't think Doomsday is going to perform anywhere close to Spider-Man.
I love this response from Lou so much. That's the opening of Raiders, you Philistine.
You almost have his voice. You're getting closer.
That's
I'm
really
getting
good.
closer. I'm getting
Really
closer.
good.
You Philistine. All right, folks. Also, you want to check out Erica and Raph. Erica, tell the folks about the Fridays and why they should be there on a Friday with you.
Yeah. Fridays, my husband and I have a live stream called Brewed Banter. Just bring your brew, coffee, tea, beer, and hang out with us. We talk about, well, it's pretty much bar/shop talk. Yeah. It's
Sounds
no
good to me.
particular niche. We just hang out and have a good time with friends.
It's a better lounge than half the lounges at Disney. I'll tell you that at least. And Culture Casino, before we go to the final story, Culture, you still chasing the haboobs and running from the wiggle wire?
Yeah, I don't have to run from the wiggle wire. I install the wiggle wire. And as far as the
He
Haboop,
controls the wiggle wire.
I'm not actually worried about him. We haven't had one since that one, so that's good. But what
You
we
haven't
do
had a good haboob since the last one?
No, but what we
Sorry to hear about that, buddy.
have is a nearly complete poly roof on the greenhouse. So I'm nearly done with that project and looking forward to my visit to the Las Vegas meetup with FNT and G&G.
You did that in like a fifth of the time that it took Disney to replace their roof on the Poly.
Yeah, I'm almost done. And then I'm headed and then the following week in order to cover it for that park place, I will be at the D23 Expo in Anaheim. So I will be there. And we'll get you some coverage from some events people have requested. So looking forward to that.
Culture gonna get you good.
I just can't wait for 3 days of you and me.
All right, now, Epic Universe, what are you doing to us? What are you doing to us? Universal, we've been praising you to the heavens. And oh no, they're closing Epic sooner rather than later in the evening starting in September. This is not what we want. Out of thatparkplace.com, Universal Orlando Resorts Epic Universe September hours show earlier closing times for almost every day in the month. During the summer months, guests could visit Epic Universe until 9 p.m., which I said was ludicrously not late. It needs to be open far later, and it needs to have special nighttime tickets because the park's at capacity over and over again. But in September, the park will generally close earlier, with most dates listing an 8 p.m. closing time. The schedule includes 2 exceptions. Epic Universe is scheduled to close earlier than the rest of the month on September 29th at 6 p.m., probably because of a corporate buyout. The park is also scheduled to remain open later than most September dates on the 23rd, with a 9 p.m. closing time. Well, la-di-da. The September schedule continues to list a 10 a.m. opening time, which matches the opening schedule from the summer months. Now, Universal has not given a reason for why they're closing it earlier, but we would assume that they expect to have slightly smaller numbers of guests joining, and that's typical for September. But panel, I see this not going the way that I was expecting, and I wonder if you all have any idea of why this is. Erica, this is a park that's meant to be enjoyed at night, and Universal seems to be fighting keeping it open at night. I don't understand. I'd rather they open this thing at noon and stay open until midnight if this is what they're going to do.
I don't understand it either when for decades Disney has had their parks, at the very least Magic Kingdom, open pretty late as midnight. I don't know why Universal is scaling it back when even they themselves know they built a park to be enjoyed in the evenings with all of the light infrastructure and the night show. I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with kids being in school. Maybe they expect attendance to be low. I don't know.
Yeah, Ron, I don't understand if it's staffing. I don't get it. But this is a park that I think that if they did dual ticketed events, right? So if they did a, let's say, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., okay? Or, maybe it's open it at 10 a.m., 10 a.m. to 9 p.m., whatever you want to do. And then you also had a ticket that was 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. for most of the year. And you had some overlap in those 3 hours, but that's fine. But if you had this where people could choose, do they want to be there during the day? Do they want to be there in the night? And the night has some more adult options, nothing, scandalous, but just some more options for grown-ups as opposed to kids. Rod, I think they could overtake Magic Kingdom in terms of attendance. So I don't know why they're not doing it. They're at capacity, and that seems to be enough for them.
Well, they might be. Look, a closure like this could indicate that they're making preparations for something else that's on the way, if you will. it depends on what they're doing. Are they doing training with their team members at night after this, or is there
Could
something
be.
else that's
I hadn't thought of
going
that.
on? Is there perhaps I don't have they started their evening fireworks show on the daily yet? Because I don't know if they've done that, but that's been
Not on the
talked about.
daily.
No, so I just think that they're still because this park is so technologically forward. There's just a lot that they have to do to figure out how they want to go forward with certain things. Because I think there's going to be more events at this park. I think there's going to be times when they open the park up at night to visitors, but close off the portals unless you paid for those, because we know that they can do that. Uh, there's a lot of potential things going on that and the one thing about Universal is they're really good about keeping things under wraps until they're actually ready to go with something.
It just seems like such a total waste to me and we're looking at this video right now of Celestial Park, the area in the middle. It's like Main Street, except way, way bigger, and it's gardens and all that. This whole area was designed with flowing waters and fountains and LED lights, and it's all coordinated at night. And it just feels like a waste to not enjoy that. It seems crazy to me to not enjoy the huge investment that must have been to get Celestial Park to look like it does in the evening hours. Culture, any thoughts on why in the world Universal is not making this be a nighttime park? And we're not talking crazy. Like, even if you don't want to do the 2 ticketed events, Magic Kingdom's open till what? 10, 11, 12 every single night, so people can enjoy Magic Kingdom, with the lights on. That's what Epic's designed for.
You're 100% right, but everything right now, and this is something that I think a lot of people don't keep up on. There's a lot of construction going on. There's a lot of prep work being done right now. They are in the midst of installing permanent firework launching locations, which they may be starting to test in September. That's a month from now. They may start to be utilizing a lot of other things in addition to what Ron suggested for training. There's a massive multi-purpose building that's in the process of construction, which will include a new restaurant, it seems, and an upstairs area for offices and similar meeting spaces. You've got a lot going on at this park all at once, and I think maybe they're going to take the month of September to get into a new schedule. But that particular soundstage building called Soundstage 33 is really under very fast track in construction mode. So I have a feeling that it's going to pop up faster than we expect and be fully decked out and ready for customers as we get closer to Halloween Horror Nights, or in full swing for Hollywood Horror Nights. So I think, like you said, we're a month, 2 months, maybe we're 2 months out from being having new facilities at the park. So I'm not going to get too caught up in that. And I agree with you. They should be open at night. These are parks designed for real enjoyment at night, especially the area they're showing now.
Well, it solves the summer problem, Culture, because Disney, Disney's excuse is, well, it's too dang hot. That's why attendance is low in the summer now. That didn't change, but that's Disney's new excuse. Universal could completely circumvent that by saying, well, fine, you can come at 6 p.m. and stay till 2 a.m. And then people would, I think, say, oh yeah, I would prefer to be there in the evening and not in the middle of the sun and all that kind of stuff. And it might not be crowded at 2 a.m., but I guarantee it, people would stay till 11 and midnight.
Well, it would change the idea of rope drop, and the people who don't like to get up in the morning, the people who don't like to get up in the morning would be thrilled with midday rope drop. But I think you'd end up with more late night patronage. And I think, and again, I think you'd end up in a completely different place. This particular attraction we're seeing right now is just the first phase attraction for this area around Ministry of Magic. The next one is going to be also equally extraordinary. So I'm pretty excited for the future here. And I'm not going to be down that, the month of September might have some limited hours in the evenings. I think I get where you're coming from, but I think there's reasons for it. How's that?
Final question for the panel. How close do we think we are to an actual major expansion at Epic already? Like a new portal?
I'm going to say very close from what I've seen from the top of Helios. When you go up there, you can look down, you can see the land, you can see the expansion pads. They're There's a lot of things prepped on both sides of the park, as a matter of fact.
Yep.
And so I think, look, I'll be honest. I honestly think that Epic could pull off a new portal before Villains Land opens, even possibly before Cars.
I bet Villains isn't going to open till the mid 2030s at this rate.
Plus, they keep changing the idea of what it's going to be. I think they're okay with what's going to happen at Animal Kingdom. If Monstropolis doesn't give them any trouble, they might be able to open that by the end of 2028, maybe. But Epic, it just seems like the people at Universal really know what they're doing, and they have had this planned ahead of time. And they're prepping for everything. There is a lot of technology though that operates at this park, especially, and it is gorgeous at night. If you've ever stood there and watched these fountains and the flow from Helios at the back of the park all the way to the front of the park and what happens there, and it's hard for me as a local because I really want an annual pass that I'm sure I hope they're working out something for
more
that.
hours makes that easier to do. I would say less hours is not the best for making it happen. I really do believe, and you all tell me, we'll wrap this up, but I think if Universal plays their cards right, this can be the most attended park in the world. They just have to do the right steps.
Well, I agree.
I think that that's true, and I think that it's going to be easier to attend than ever because they did partner with the Boring Company for the tunneled transit system, which seems to have gotten the green light. So any idea on when that's going to be ready, Pro?
Based on the Boring Company now, I'm not anti-Elon, but I would say the Boring Company sometimes takes a while. It turns out tunnels are not so fast. So I would not be getting... I'm not anticipating that being a quick thing, but we shall see. We shall see. And then we'll see, too, what is Disney going to do as Epic now pulling back slightly, but maybe, as Ron has suggested, in anticipation of big things on the way.
It's 2035, and it's time for the grand opening of a long-awaited Villains expansion.
Here we are in the first attraction, a grown-ups only establishment where you can get sloshed with Ursula. And guess what? Here we are again, back at another bar. Have you ever wanted to booze it up with little green men?
Excuse me, are there any rides here, or is this all just bars?
Oh, there's tons more here beyond alcohol.
Still like it. WJB Daily for 5. Universal gave us Epic. I trust what they are doing next. Have you seen the layout for Fast and Furious Coaster at Orlando? Amazing. Amazing they got that in there. And I'll tell you what else is amazing. I'm going to miss the Sinbad stuff over at, or not the Sinbad, help me out, guys. What's the giant, not Neptune, what's the giant theater that had the water tunnel? Poseidon, thank you. Poseidon's Fury. I was really hoping that they could repurpose that because it's such an awesome building, but, well, it was an awesome building. It looks like Mythos is gone too, so. But what's going there is going to be amazing. Can't talk about it. Unless Ron wants to spill the beans before anybody else. And no, okay, well, we won't say anything else. Okay. Well, I try to catch them all every once in a while with you, Ron. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be sending you on over to the dish with Ron. We wish you would subscribe to all of our guests on here. And folks, just know you're near and dear to our hearts. The dream to stream only comes true because of you. Ron, are you ready to dish it out, sir?
Sure, we can start a little early. And I do want to let people know, if they don't go over there, the Southeast Game Exchange vlog is up on the channel. Portions of the panel with you and Critical Drinker and Fake Wizard Culture is in the video. So many of our friends are in the video, and a good little snippet of me with Critical Drinker. So that was a lot of fun. And so go check that out. And you, I don't know what you may do with the entire panel. So
that's right. Well, it'll be appearing on the Pro channel soon. But folks, also don't forget that in Vegas this coming weekend, Culture Casino will be there, Wizard will be there, F&T Meetup is going to be there. So go check out our friends and those who appear on the panel very regularly. I don't know yet if I'm going to be in Vegas. We've got some scheduling stuff. Probably not, but you never know. It might be like the thing in Nashville where suddenly I just showed up because we could make it happen with EBN. Folks, this is the end of the show. We are going to exit the monorail at this time. But before we stand clear of the doors, Ken Reihart says for 2 more, the new Poseidon's Fury will be the Swamp Tunnel.
Gosh.
Ew. All right, ladies and gentlemen, never say Swamp Tunnel that way. It doesn't mean what. That is a bad euphemism. Keep away from swamp tunnels, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Please stand clear of the doors.